Hey peeps, I'm Rick Roberts, and this is Rick Roberts Life, the podcast where we talk about my faith, my thoughts, my life. And today is Thursday Thoughts. And my thought for you today is, are you a parent or are you a doctor? Now you're thinking, wait, what? Now let me break it down. Now it's funny, as I do my research on personality profiles, there are some personalities that are great for starting new projects. Like, they can start a new project like that, and they can make it look so good at the start. It looks like a professional 5-star job. They just jump on it and boom, it's good. And then you have some people where they have a hard time starting new projects. They get so stressed, they get so anxious, but they can maintain it like nobody's business. I call it the doctor and the parent. Some people are great doctors. Some people are great parents. Now, my wife happens to be both. There you go, baby. But people who are doctors, their job is to bring the baby into the world. They know all these different ways to bring this baby into the world, but a parent doesn't necessarily have that skill unless they go and train for that. But a parent can do all the work from that point onwards to nurture and to grow and to develop this into a solid, strong human being that's going to make a positive change in this world. And so some of you guys out there are doctors, some of you guys out there are parents, and I know that depending on where you are inclined, you have your own different levels of difficulties. For my doctors out there, you can start something new and you can be sweet at starting it new, but it's hard to maintain it. Continue to find a way to break it up into parts. That's what I'm doing. I tend to be a doctor with my approach. I'm great at starting new things, maintaining it and parenting it. That's my challenge. That's the thing I have a hard time with. And so I could start something new like that tomorrow. I could easily do that. I could think of a million different ways to do it. And so for me, I have to sit down and say, okay, I've started this. Now what can I do to keep this going long term? Can I do this every day? If I can't do this every day, can I do this at least once a week? Can I do this twice a week? How many times can I do this in the month so that way I can maintain this enough for me to be consistent and not be overwhelmed by it? That's my personality profile. Like I said, with the parental side, some of y'all are thinking, oh, how am I going to be able to just even start this thing? Just even thinking about starting this stresses me out. And for you, you have your own difficulties of figuring out how to just even get that first thing going. Once you get it going and you have that momentum, you're sweet. You can run for days, okay? And so figure out what you are. Are you a parent or are you a doctor? If you are a parent, what is some way that you can break it down in a small enough piece where you can be able to just start it and to just get moving? What nudges can you give yourself to get going? All right, for my doctors out there, what ways can you break it down again and make it where you have different sections that are exciting and challenging, that you're adding new bits to it where you can figure out a new way to hit it so that way it keeps it interesting? Okay, that is what I want to bring to you. My parents, my doctors, we can figure out a way to maintain our mental health, maintain our relationships, maintain our progress so that way we don't find ourselves in a slump, because there's no point continuing going into a slump and living there. We have too many things in our lives that we want to get to, that we want to do, and when we're in the slumps, it just keeps us from living our life the way we should be. So I want to encourage you to do me a favor. First off, figure out, are you a doctor? Are you a parent? Secondly, figure out what are the areas of your life that you find you keep going into a slump about. And if you do find these areas that you're a slump, if you're a doctor, find a way to break it down and have different sections that is going to be interesting that you're going to try to do to continue to grow it. For my parents, I want you to find different ways of breaking it down so you can just get started in it, okay, and bring it into life, all right? And then once you do that, continue to grow on that and then look for another area of life. Can you do that for me? Yes, you can do it. I know you can. Like I said on Monday, we have to fight with everything we can to keep our ambitions, the things that we found important to us in this previous lockdown, alive. And as we go forward and our life gets back to some form of normalcy, it's going to be put under pressure. to be able to stop us from doing that. And so in order for us to be able to figure out how we can protect the things that's so important to us, we need to first identify whether we are a doctor or a parent. Depending on who you are, you're going to have your own challenges with moving your life forward as we head into this new wave of change in our lives. Okay, so if you're a doctor, what I would recommend to you, what's helped me, is I try to break the areas of my life down into small sections, and in those sections I try to think of an interesting way to hit the next chapter. I try to make each chapter, in a sense, be its own book in my mind, and then I put these books together, and then I have a bigger book, kind of like the Bible. Boom, put it in there. And so that's what I would recommend to you, is that if you're a doctor type, continue to break these chapters up and then make each chapter its own type of book, so that way you have a fun way of approaching it in such a way like you're starting a new project, but it's actually really part of the bigger scheme of things. Okay, and you put it together, and then you can find that you built an incredible area right here. That could be with your parenting, it could be with your relationships, it could be with your job. This concept works with any area of your life. And the same thing with the parenting side. If you find that you're a great parent, but you have a hard time starting and bringing life into this world, what I recommend to you is this. Sometimes the parent wants it to be perfect before they can start. And unfortunately, perfect is relative. There is no such thing as perfect. And what you find, and what you will discover, is that once you get started, the thing you initially thought you were going to have, it will change and grow as time comes. And so my parents typically tend to want to have as much information as possible, and they want to make sure they do it all a particular way, so that way they get the results they're expecting, and they don't like to have a lot of surprises along the way. But unfortunately, life is very complex. And so what I want to say to you is break it down even more, and then just start. Now, when I say just start, I mean just take that very first step. Whatever you think that very first step is, just do it. Okay? Because, like I said, all areas of life is a series of steps. So you just picking any step to go ahead and do is just going to help you to get it going. So just take a step. I don't care what step it is, just take a step. And as you get used to taking a step, you'll then learn how to step. You'll then learn the right way to step. Because sometimes in life, you only learn by doing. You can only take so much information in until you just have it flowing out your ears, and you just need to get going. So from a parent's, break it down some more, and then just step somewhere. Just get started. If you find that you had a fight with your partner and you're saying, well, I don't know how we can even fix this, the very first step, say you're sorry. So you know what? I didn't expect us to get here from that. I want us to be together. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that's going to be, but all I know is I'm sorry that we're not together right now. That is the first step. Boom. You're moving forward. You took a step forward. That's it. When my doctors out there, you can say you're sorry, but for example, you're thinking, okay, I've said I'm sorry. I feel tempted to go back to living my life how I was, but don't do that. I want you to look at, okay, you've said sorry. What else can you do to help bring the relationship together? And you see that as its own separate thing that you're doing that's no longer attached to the sorry. And then as you do that, you're thinking that, okay, I've started a new project. I'm doing something else new. Okay, I said I'm sorry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this person out for a dinner together with no phones. Just me and them, and we're going to find something fun to talk about. I'll put down 10 questions, and we'll go talk about these 10 things. Boom, that's the next step. You see what I'm saying? And as you continue to do these different chapters and put it together into one book, boom, you then find a way to actually improve and consistently improve an area of your life. And so that's what I'm saying. Are you a doctor Are you a parent? They're both good. They just have their own different struggles. We are coming to a point where the waves of change is getting louder and getting closer. And if you were in lockdown and out of lockdown, you're experiencing the situation right now. We have Independence Day coming up soon. Just a reminder of what it's like to be coming from one situation into a completely different situation after finding ways of persevering and fighting to get to a new beginning. That's where we all are together as a planet. So continue to figure out what it is you need to do to hold on to the life that you have and to move forward. I'm Rick Roberts, and you stay classy. Bye.